Intel, not much this week, but you will have seen, some of you will have seen in the news, which kind of hinted at last week and the 2 weeks previous, of banking issues. And the HSBC CEO was turfed out this week, and the bank slashed 4,000 jobs overnight. That's not going to get better. Of course, the Dow closed 760 points lower, which is the worst day of 2019 this year. Why is it doing that? Because there's no plunge protection anymore. It's gone. The FDIC. People think, well, my savings et al. Will be safe because of the FDIC. That's the insurance. Not quite. But it's partially keeping banks afloat at the moment. Now, the trust was the FDIC. What people don't know. But what's happening now is the Fed, who are defunct, they don't exist. They don't have license, they can't print dollars, they can't even use dollars in America anymore. But are carrying on because certain people won't act. So the Fed are requesting 10% of all deposits into banks from every bank. And that was supposed to provide insurance to support the bank. But the Fed is just collecting it to keep to themselves. And the banks keep supporting the Fed. You're being looted. So this week, all the banks are now begging the Fed for funds. But the Fed have none. They sent it all to Chinese elders. Like Putin did. Like the South African government did. Like the UK government did. Like Mnuchin did until it got pulled back. All banks, and I mean all banks, people seem to think this is all about America. All banks are in beyond dire straits now. The American Treasury is in negative liquidity. China, the whole country, only had 300 million left last week. It's less now. And we have warned several times it's all about to collapse. Hardly any money transactions are moving now behind just the minor amounts. Larger amounts, not so. Why? Because banks are frightened to release larger amounts as they will run out entirely. Citibank has been stealing from customer accounts and sending it to Shanghai on the promise of what is now quite frankly ridiculous notion that they're going to get paid out by the RV. Despite it failing for the past 12 years. And we are entering the time spoken about where we said we will sit back and watch it all unfold, knowing we did everything possible to prevent that collapse. But Kim will not be bailing out the Treasury or the government again until they fulfill their end of the deal. And as that has not been forthcoming, because they don't wish the people to have anything. I'll repeat that again. They don't wish the people to have anything. Then that's that. And a tentative date range, which we knew back in April and was hinted at, for it all to implode is August the 15th through the 17th. The banks ignored the Secret Service to do a deal. The banks ignored the Pentagon to do a deal. And there's nothing left. Just as we warned you all. Work still goes on. And maybe I'll have a small update on the Saturday show. But that's what we're facing. There's nothing left. There's not much in the way of reportable intel this week. There's a lot of positive things going on that I can say. I know people are worried about banks and money and etc., but you can't say I didn't warn you, because I've warned you for several months now. Eventually it will crash. Once that credit line issue was taken away a month ago, there's nothing left. Now the Fed are stealing off all the banks 10% to keep themselves, or the illusion of themselves, going. They have nothing. And all I can say is all hell has broken loose. The mass panic prevails, not just on Earth-based levels either. Their system of control is collapsing around them. And when you have no real leaders, a scattergun approach to things abound. And this is what we're seeing. We are in the final countdown, and the key pondering question is, I've asked it many times, what happens next?